It's January 25th, 2017, and my name is Bill McCamley. I am a New Mexico State Representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla with your legislative update for the day. We are well into our second week of this year's legislative session, and there's three things that I wanted to update you on today. The first is that the House and the Senate came to some agreements on the final quote-unquote solvency packages. They're modified versions of what I've talked about in the last couple of days, where we are trying to both close the hole that exists in the state budget this year and also put together a couple $1 million so that we can get our reserves up and hopefully avoid getting our bond rating dropped by Moody's Bond Service. That's the state's credit rating, so that we don't see an increase in the fees that we need to borrow money into the future. That got done, and it's a little bit of a relief for a lot of us because it's been weighing down a lot of us as we started the session. This is very unusual to go through this type of intense and deep work here, but we need to get it done. And now we can start talking about the budget for the upcoming year, which is also in a hole. But I think there's going to be a lot of people, myself included, that will not vote for a budget that basically just does cut again. We want to see some revenue increases, and we started to see some cracks in the governor's armor on that. So maybe there will be some room for negotiation there so that we can have some real shared burden as the state goes through this fiscal crisis. Secondly, there was a bill that went through my committee today. The only one we heard, because it was rather important, was increasing the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour by 2020. So it would go up to $8 something an hour, I think $8.40 an hour next year, $9.20 I believe the year after, and then $10.10 in 2020, and then would increase based on a cost of living adjustment every year after that. This is important because so many people in not only New Mexico but the country feel like they're being left behind. And if you're working a minimum wage job, and remember, 80% of the people that work minimum wage jobs are actually over the age of 20, so it's not teenagers, and 50% are actually over the age of 40. There's people that have been working these jobs for years. And if you work full-time and make the minimum wage, you make a little over $15,000 a year. That's poverty wages. And it is not an American value, in my opinion, that if you work hard and you play by the rules, you're still going to live in poverty. So we've seen the minimum wage increase in Santa Fe and Albuquerque and in Las Cruces, and we haven't really seen a negative impact on the economy. In fact, you've seen a positive impact in a lot of cases. So we want to make sure that happens for the state, and that took its first step today in committee. Lastly, I am playing a little bit of an international diplomat today. I was happy to host in my office and on the floor a guy named Juan Asadero. He is the Economic Development Council Secretary for Mexico for the southwest portion of the country here in the United States. And I'm about to go to a Canadian consulate meeting where we're speaking with these folks about issues that affect all of our nations and how we in New Mexico play in that. I know that Donald Trump got a lot of play today for his executive orders on the quote-unquote border wall. I don't believe in that message. I think that we grow as a community, and that includes our neighbors to the north and south. And especially with Mexico, considering where we are placed geographically, I think we do better as a whole, both in Mexico and in New Mexico, when we grow together, culturally, educationally, from an economic standpoint, and that is much better. That is much better forwarded when we talk together and treat each other like people and like friends. And I think that's the way I'm taking moving forward with that. So thanks everyone for watching this as always. My name is Bill McCamley, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd be happy to hear from you. Hope everyone has a great day. I'll be back at you tomorrow. Thanks.